So in this day and age, everyone knows that social media marketing is huge for any business. Now today we've got a special treat for you. If you're looking for how to grow your business, or you're thinking about getting into business and you're wondering, how can I have a better social media presence, we have got the founder and owner of the leading marketing agency in Scotland, Aqib Afzal from UPVYBE. Aqib, how are you doing?
Thank you guys, it's good to be here. I am doing amazing. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself, Adam?
Yeah, good. Yeah, sweating, roasting in this.
It's actually like we should probably say that before we start, that it's actually roasting in here. So if we are completely sweating, then just don't mind us, you know.
Yeah, just walking out of a steam room after this, man.
Exactly.
So let's get straight into this. So normally how we start is we like to ask about our guests how they grew up and what life was like.
Okay, so the biography then. All right, yeah. So basically, I. Like, as of right now, I'm 23 years old, so I have been doing, obviously, the whole creative work for the past, 7-8 years. It all kind of started when I was in high school, and I started from, content creation, which was predominantly photography and video. So, it all kind of just started with my uncle having a restaurant, and then my dad had a camera, just actually one of the ones that we have here today that we're using. And I just picked it up, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to make a few clips, and I'm just going to edit it to get together. The thing is with me, I've always been into the whole YouTube kind of stuff, even from years ago. So editing was kind of natural for me from the beginning. So I basically got some clips, put them together, and my uncle really liked it. And see, from that moment, I was kind of this could be something that I'm quite good at, so I might as well try experiment with it more and see what I can do with it, you know. So from there, one of our friends, shout out to Aqib, he had a lot of charity events that were going on at that point, from a charity called Human Appeal. So he would invite me down, and I'd bring my camera, I'd make videos, and at this point of time, I was working from a camera that was probably £200, £300. So it wasn't the best of gear, but I just tried to make it work, you know. And a lot of the content I was creating at that time was charity-based work, and it was a 2-in-1, because although it wasn't something I was getting paid for, it was also creating awareness for charities and obviously really good causes, you know. So it felt really rewarding to do that. And from there, I was able to meet a lot of different types of people. I was able to meet makeup artists. I was able to meet just a lot of even local-based businesses who got to know me, and they were okay, we've seen your work, we like it. One thing I used to do back then as well was I used to go crazy with effects. Because my camera quality was so bad, I had to cover it up somehow. So I used to just go crazy with the effects, the flashes, and it worked, you know. And I feel now that obviously I've got all my equipment upgraded, I'm so lazy because the camera does all the work for you, you know. Whereas back then I had to really make my stuff stand out. So that's kind of how it started, you know. It was all kind of in school. I used to get a lot of hate in school. People are always trying to, the thing is, people typically in school, they don't like to see other people doing different things, you know. They expect everyone to just have their head down doing work. That's it, nothing else.
So what kind of what kind of experiences did you have?
So typically it was just more of you've only got 100 likes on your Facebook page, what are you doing? You might as well just focus on school. And the thing is with me, I'm really big when it comes to you need to prove people wrong, man. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people are going to doubt you in your life, so you have to always try, just work through that. And a lot of people, they can't take the hate either. See, if someone was to say that to them, they would just stop. So I always have taken, great pride in the sense that I'm able to just always, just get my head down regardless of what people say, you know, and do things a bit differently. That's, my kind of, I'm an advocate for that, doing things differently, not staying with, the normal of what people do.
Yeah, that's very important, and, you know, people need to remember that. So have you got any tips on how to actually have to deal with that? Because I know for me, sometimes when I've had people saying that, it kind of sticks and lingers a wee bit in your brain. How did you overcome?
I think it's
just not think about it, or think about it in a way that, you know, this is fuel for me.
Yeah, I think that's the way you got to look at it, man. You have to just look at it like it's fuel. The thing is, people get uncomfortable when they see other people doing things that they can't, you know, especially with obviously it's weird how they do it, right? Because in school, it would be little things. So I remember one of my old websites, I think Aqib might remember this, I'm not too sure, I can't quite remember, but my old website, it was AQ Media, that was my old company, that was my first company's name, and the site's not even there now, so if you try to search for it, it's not going to come up. But it used to have a photo of my face on the front page, and I remember I would be sitting in my IT class, and about 20 people would have that website open, and I would just be sitting there damn man, what have I got myself into? But it's at the same time, you do get people that do support it, and they're obviously they're with you in every step of the way. But then as I said, there's a majority that they just like to bring you down, because they don't want to see other people doing things that they can't.
Yeah.
But my advice to people when like you have haters and stuff is like just ignore it, use it as fuel. Like it's so much more satisfying like being able to prove them wrong than just succeeding. You know,
yeah, I think even obviously from the standpoint of me doing the podcast, I've so far been fortunate that I haven't had any bad feedback. I haven't had any hate.
Of course.
But I know like that's something that's probably in the pipeline. Like you just kind of got to like accept it and like just kind of say like, okay, I'm not going to stop here. I'm just going to keep doing it. And like I suppose like when I was in school, like maybe different to yourself but similar. I used to skateboard, but skateboarding wasn't really like a big thing, especially back then. Probably now it's more so. This like I mean, obviously I was saying to you earlier before we came in, used to make like YouTube videos, and like it was summers we used to just skateboard and film and edit, and like obviously you said you edited videos and pictures and stuff, but I remember back then like it got a lot of hate because skateboarding wasn't really popular, and like DC's like that would be everyone would be like, oh, that's like a skater boy thing, like who do you think you are, like Ryan Sheckler, like Tony Hawk's, like never gonna make it and stuff. But I think like see when Nike and certain brands like Adidas made it popular, I think more people sort of accepted it. But like I remember even from skateboarding at a young age, like people were like, oh, like come on, like play football or like just go to the gym or like swim or like run or something like that, do something more generic. To be fair, I do swim, but I did like to skateboard at my weekends as well. That was my kind of like ease. That was my like just chilling. Did you ever do any of the BMX thing, or was it just all about skateboards? It was all about skateboarding for me. I never really ventured into like any other sort of field. But yeah, like that was something I did.
Skateboarding's just one thing I've never understood. It's like, how can you stay on the skateboard when it's going all these different ways?
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
I don't understand it. Are you like glued to the board? Like there must be a secret.
Because I tried, and I think a lot of people that are probably giving you like. Giving you hassle for it were probably guys like me who tried it and kept falling off, because that's the way it was, mate. That's the way I tried. I was like, I can't do this, mate. I tried the BMX thing. I was like, what are these poles sticking out the wheels for? What are they for? And all that. But I
remember, I don't want to go too much off topic, but I remember there was a little skate park near my house, and one of my friends used to be into his like BMXing, so there was a few like little ramps, and he'd be doing all his tricks, and I would just have my mountain bike. I would just be going over the ramps on my mountain bike, just not doing anything, just going over it and thinking I'm like the coolest thing ever. But
have you kind of had like, well, also obviously kind of mentioned the hate and stuff, so have you kind of had that venturing into the property game as well?
No, 100%, because it's something where, especially older people who have maybe tried it in the past and got burned, you know, they kind of they'll say to you, oh no, it's not going to work, you know, that's not going to work, find another way. Even like family, and that's when it hurts the most, I think, when it's a family saying to you. But so
I can honestly relate to that.
Yeah,
See,
tell us about your experience.
With the older, like the thing is, what I kind of came to learn is like the older generation, they just think of it a little bit differently than we do, and like sometimes they'll say things that like to us it's really offensive, but see when they say it, like they don't mean it in an offensive way. That's one thing I've learned, because I used to get quite annoyed when like certain elders would say like, oh yeah, like I remember I did have one person, someone fairly close to me, they were like, oh yeah, like there's not really any point in doing it, you might as well just get a real job, a proper job. But then little did he know at the time, like I was probably making more than what I would have been making if I was in like a conventional job, you know. But that's the thing, I think it's more of just lack of awareness rather than them actually like,
that's it, because people probably thought you were just recording videos, and that was it. They don't realise all the other editing and stuff like that.
Yeah, because look at it now, man, like look at video content, it's like one of the main marketing ways. Like see, before people used to get billboards done, people used to hand out flyers, now it's all like Instagram, social media, video content, video ads. So it's like I don't know, I guess it's just I've been lucky in how it's worked out, you know. It might not have went this route, it could have just completely just stayed with all the whole like business cards and like, but luckily we've kind of went into quite a good era for the video content.
Definitely. So obviously you mentioned the conventional jobs before you went into the sort of marketing game and doing your own business. Is it UPVYBE? UPVYBE. What sort of conventional jobs did you have before you just sort of decided I'm going to do this full time?
That's the thing for me, like it's always kind of been like, when I first picked up the camera to actually go make that video, like I was like probably like 13 or 14, so you're not really going to have a conventional job at that age. So in the sense of like, I've got nothing against like normal like 9 to 5s and stuff, but everyone's got like a different approach in what they want to do, you know. But for me, one thing I've struggled with is like, see, from the age of like say 14, 15, I was like kind of making the videos, and I dived into like logo design, branding. I got myself into this attitude of like, you know, for example, if I was doing a video for you, right, and then you came to me saying that, oh yeah, I want a logo. Do you know anyone? I would learn how to make a logo just so I could not have to like turn you away, you know. And it just kind of went from there, and then here we are, like we do websites, we do apps, we do basically everything, and like it's like that's how it kind of started. It all started from the video side of things. But yeah, like with the 9 to 5, I just struggled to like, like not in a egotistic way. Is that a word? Egotistic? I don't think it is.
Egotistical
Or
way.
just,
Egotistical way.
that's it, yeah.
Egotistical.
Like, but I think I struggle to like take orders from someone else in the sense of like, go do this, go do that, because they don't really give you a definition as to why. It's more just like, do this. Whereas with me, like, I can kind of decide, okay, I'm going to do this. This is why I'm going to do it, and I understand it more. It's very hard to do something when you don't know the purpose behind it. You know, that's the way I think of it anyway. So
I think more for you is you're kind of self-driven, sort of talented, like at that, and you've kind of done that from a young age. So I think for your sake, like you've got that fire in you that you love to do this, and you've just kind of like, for you, it's just like it's enjoyment of doing it, the satisfaction of looking back and saying, do you know what, I done a good job on that.
It's that as well. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's been times like so when I first left school, like I had the kind of choice of going to like uni or like continuing to doing like what I was doing full time. And at that time, that's when obviously we worked with AJ. So that was like a pretty like big it was quite funny because you know how I said about all the kind of hate in school. So that was kind of like 4th, 5th year, right? But then see when I got into 6th year, that's when I did the video with Anthony Joshua. So that it was like an event. He came down. And I was lucky enough to be like filming the official video for that, which was like awesome, right? And obviously a lot of people in my school kind of found that out, and they were just like, okay, like fair enough, like fair play to the guy, you know. And then I remember even my head teacher, like he came and he got me at the class and he shook my hand and he was like, congratulations, like you've done really well and like this and that. And then they put me in like their newsletter, and I was just thinking like, about 2 years ago, you guys didn't like me because I wasn't an academic person, you know. But it's just how it goes in that sense. But yeah,
you know, I've heard that before, where when people get validation from outside of, you know, this circle or this place or someone bigger, then it changes the way people see it.
I don't think it like it shouldn't be like
it
that.
It shouldn't, no, but that's just the way it's people's kind of attitude to it.
Of course.
So obviously, you've got your own business doing the marketing and stuff. Tell us about the sort of most difficult moments that you've had running your own business and how you sort of kind of overcame them in a sense.
So I think for me is like because everything that I do is mainly creative, so I love all the creative work and that's where my passion is. But I think like I'll give you 2 examples. So for when it comes to making videos, you know, when you start doing it for a living and you're always making videos, it's very easy to just like burn out, you know. And like this whole content creation lifestyle, it's like you'll hear a lot of YouTubers say it as well, and it's like it's a difficult life because you're just, people don't see it. People just see all the good things. Oh yeah, he's working with that person, like he's doing this, but they don't see like the late night graft. When I remember when I was in school, see when I was first learning all of this stuff, I think I've mentioned this before as well, but like I would remember like I would be watching a YouTube video, right, and I'd see like a really cool effect. And this would maybe be in the evening, so like let's say 8, 9 p.m. at night. I'd see a really cool effect in a video and I'd say to myself that I'm not going to sleep until I know how to do this effect. And I'd basically like just go into full learn mode, and then I would go to sleep at like 6 a.m, right? And then I'd wake up an hour later for school. So it probably explains why I did rubbish in school. But you know, like that's what I'm trying to say is like these are all really like challenging times, you know. And then another part was obviously in 2019 my sister passed away, so she was like one of my biggest supporters, and like she would always watch a lot of the content that I produce, so she'd basically be like one of the first people to watch the video that I'd make essentially. So she was always really excited to like watch these, share these. So it's kind of like it took me a while to kind of get through that, just because I was so used to like showing her everything that I was making, you know. So I think that was like a big challenge as well. And see, when something like that happens in your life, it takes a huge hit on you creatively as well. And like at one point I used to like sit behind the computer and I'd be editing and I'd have all these ideas about, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then shortly after all that happened, like I would be sitting in front of my editing software for ages just thinking like what direction do I take this? What do I do? Do you know what I mean? So that was quite difficult, and I'm still not 100% like where I want to be yet in the sense of where I was. But it's just baby steps, man. That's what it's all about, you know. But I think, as I said at the beginning, people they think this is like an amazing lifestyle, and like, oh, he's going to these fancy events, but they don't see like the grind and the hours and the times that you, for example, like you go to sleep at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you're getting up 2 hours later for a shoot, and then it just takes it out of you, man. You know.